Hello and welcome to the Ice Guys. This is the show that takes you into the world of the National Hockey League. Every game, every day, from a betting perspective. With pro sports handicappers, Ian Cameron, Alex B. Smith, and various guests from the world of hockey and sports betting. And now, here's your host, Ian Cameron.
Welcome to the Ice Guys, Sunday, November 30th. Ian Cameron and Alex B. Smith with you, ready to break down the Sunday NHL slate. 4 games on tap on this Sunday. Good to have you with us, as usual, as we come to the tail end of a Thanksgiving holiday weekend in the U.S. 4 days of crazy sports action. I'll be ready for a little bit of a quieter sports calendar coming up, starting tomorrow, that's for sure. It's been crazy and hectic, with everything going on. We've had NFL Thursday and Friday. You've had college football all weekend, college basketball, NBA, these monster NHL slates 2 days in a row, Friday and Saturday. So nice to have a little bit of a calming coming up here the next couple of days. After a disappointing Friday, it was nice to really bounce back and have a much better Saturday. Saturday was pretty good yesterday from a betting standpoint. The day started pretty well. We had a small piece of the over with the Lightning and the Red Wings yesterday, and it ended up being I'm thinking of 2 days ago. Lightning and Rangers yesterday got the day started. Took a shot with Tampa at a plus price, and 4-1 win. Dominance, every bit deserving of that 4-1 win. 35-13 were the shots in favor of the Lightning. And I said this on Twitter. This is a reminder from John Cooper, what he's doing with this team right now. There's no Victor Hedman. There's no Ryan McDonough. There's no Eric Chernak. That's 3 starting defensemen out. There's no Braden Point right now. And this team is just keeping on winning games right now. And a 4-1 dominant victory over the Rangers. My guy gets on the board too, of course. Nick Paul once again scoring for the Lightning. And Brandon Hagel, one of the hottest goal scorers right now in the NHL. He's been on a tear for the Lightning. He continues to find the back of the net with regularity. So a 4-1 win for Tampa. Montreal, tough spot. They've been on the road all week, back-to-back after a big win in Vegas. And I guess kind of predictable to fall flat yesterday, but, you just don't want to get blown out like that. But they did 7-2 against Colorado. The reads were right here with the over by Fecta with Colorado. That shot I mentioned yesterday, over 1, their first period team total. Maybe taking a shot that they could get on the board twice in the first period. And they were able to do that. So Colorado with a dominant 7-2 win over the Montreal Canadiens. This next game was just worked out perfectly as well. Edmonton, first goal of first period. Edmonton, first period puck line in that game, both cashing in. We thought they'd come off to a good start, stewing it over that loss to Dallas on Tuesday ever since. And it was a good effort. That was a good, solid 60-minute road game from the Edmonton Oilers yesterday. They meant business. They got in penalty trouble. That's the only thing you can quibble about with their game yesterday. It took too many penalties, but when you kill them all off, it really doesn't matter, I guess, as much. But still, you got to stay out of the box a little bit better. It didn't hurt you yesterday, but it could hurt you against other teams. But Skinner with a very good shutout win as well, 4-0 for the Edmonton Oilers there. So, like I said, since we've been getting more involved with this first goal of the first period market, man, we've been doing really well with it. So hopefully it can continue. I know there's one game on the slate today that I like, a first goal of the first period bet as well. Excuse me. This was a great game as far as betting results. 2-0 best bet suite from this Jets and Predators game. Winnipeg money line and the over, both cashing in. 5-2 Winnipeg. Just really looking at it, saying I don't trust Nashville to win 3 in a row back-to-back after beating Chicago the night before. Winnipeg had been losing, but 2 games against Carolina, Minnesota. It had been a really, really challenging schedule. Tough opponents for the Jets of late. This was a clear step down in class for them against a weaker opponent. Washington, there we go. That was the other opponent they played. So it had been a really tough schedule for the Winnipeg Jets, and they take advantage of facing the weakest team they've played in a while, and they beat Nashville 5-2. Useless Onanen was just that, useless last night for the Nashville Predators. Another loss and another game where he gives up 4 goals or more, which has been the routine for him. Philly, how about the Flyers? 5-3. They beat the New Jersey Devils. More issues with Markstrom, but very, very timely goal scoring from Philly. in that victory. Toronto thumping Pittsburgh 7-2. I wish they had more of that in their arsenal on Friday when I took them against Washington. But nevertheless, great win for the Leafs. Hildeby was very good in net. And what was great to see is all these guys that Berube's been scratching just to give them a reset, try to get them going. They all played well last night. Nick Waugh scored. Max Domi, who was scratched the game before, he scores he has 2 assists, I should say, for Toronto. Still had a very good game overall. Dakota Joshua was a scratch earlier this week. He scores a goal for Toronto. So everybody was on board. Matthews got on the board. Nick Robertson scored. So again, though, doesn't matter if you're not going to build on it. Toronto's got to string a win streak together because they entered last night 6 points out of a wild card spot. So it's no good to just win yesterday and then lose the next game. So you got to build on this and try to get a win streak going if you're Toronto. Detroit and Boston, very entertaining game. We cashed the draw in that game. The Bruins end up with the 3-2 win over the
Seems like we've lost Ian there. We had a little connection issues, but just kind of jump in and recap.
There we go. Sorry about that. Right. We're back. Camera just got knocked out of commission for a second.
All right.
We're back. Boston. I'm going to speed this up anyway as far as the recap. St. Louis, I give them credit. 1-0 over the Utah Mammoth yesterday, and my guy Dylan Holloway gets the only goal in that game for St. Louis. So a nice job by them. What did I say about What did I say about the Buffalo Sabres yesterday prior to that game against Minnesota? You can't figure this team out. Watch them, watch them after getting shut out at home by New Jersey, looking listless, looking awful, looking pathetic. Watch them turn around and give Minnesota a game. Well, they did one better. They beat Minnesota 3-2 in a shootout, snapping Minnesota's 7-game win streak. I wish I had the guts to take Buffalo because that smelled all along like Minnesota walking into this big bear trap, if you will, against Buffalo, and Buffalo come into play. But I did have the draw. Thankfully, I was smart enough to bet that, noting that a lot of these Buffalo-Minnesota games have been going past regulation in Minnesota. That's now 4 of 5 in Minnesota between the Sabres and the Wild that have gone past regulation. So that was a great price on that draw, too, if I'm not mistaken. A little bit better than we normally get. Yeah, plus
360.
360 it was when I took it. It actually came down from that point. But, yeah, it was a really good price. So great to hit that draw. And like I said, Buffalo with the huge 3-2 shootout win. Typical Buffalo. Now you want to bet against them next game after a win like that. That's the way it goes with them. You bet on them after the lowest of lows, and you bet against them off the highest of highs. That seems to be the pattern with this Buffalo team. LA 2-1 in overtime against Vancouver. That might get me on. That might get me to step down from the Vancouver over streak because that's now 2 unders in a row for them. After that crazy streak. How about the fact that we had goals disallowed for offside both ways early in that game in the first 5 minutes? Pretty crazy start to that game as far as that's concerned. But the Kings get a much-needed win. Vancouver's that get-well team. You got to beat Vancouver if you're going to, start to get your season turned around, especially on home ice. And Los Angeles gets the 2-1 overtime win. Valiant effort from San Jose. I'll take it. We had the over by Fecta. Cashed both of those. We had San Jose money line and team total over split. We cashed the team total for San Jose as they get to 3 goals. That was Alex's best bet yesterday on the show was Sharks team total over 2.5. They lose 4-3 to Vegas, but valiant effort. They were down 4-1. I'm like, this game's getting away, but they got it back to 4-3. Unfortunately, it was a very good good third period defensively from Vegas, trying to nurse that game home. Didn't give San Jose too much open ice, and Vegas is able to hang on and get the 4-3 win against San Jose. Still, though, I've got some concerns about Vegas, even though they finally won last night at home. They've got to amp their game up another level, if they want to live up to being the team people expected them to be so far this season. Alex, your thoughts on a huge Saturday slate?
Yeah, a lot of interesting results, a lot of mixed results for me as far as the betting goes. That Edmonton game could have gone smoother for me, but I got, a little creative with some of the plays. Tried to go with the goal in the first 5 minutes, getting plus money. We missed out on that. Did miss out on that alternate team total with the over 1.5, but did push on the 1 and then cashed with the half a goal and got that first goal in the first period there. But Then fell short with the parlay there too, of that Edmonton winning and over 4.5. Needed one more goal from somebody, and it falls at 4-0. So, when you get creative with bets and you're trying to kind of stack things together, that can happen at times where you have a game that goes well or a game that where one or two things hit and everything else kind of falls apart. So that's going to happen with certain spots. Today being a lighter card, I've got a little bit of some lighter looks, still some creative looks, especially with one game in particular, but definitely looking forward to the shorter action today.
All right, let's get into it. We will begin with Washington and the New York Islanders. This is a very early start. This is 1 p.m. Eastern, coming up at the top of the hour in Belmont, New York. We've got Washington minus 130 road favorites, 5.5, 6 the total. So shop around because, again, depending on what angle you like with the total, you'll get some better numbers out there. Find the 6 if you like the under. Find the 5.5 if you like the over here in this game. That's enough of fading Washington for me. They're playing well. They're on a nice little heater right now. They battled back after a slow start against Toronto to beat the Leafs 4-2. 6-1 they are now in their last 7 games. We'll see if they can carry that over here to this matchup against the New York Islanders. It's worth noting they've won 2 in a row, Washington, here in this building. The last 2 times the Islanders have hosted the Capitals. Islanders starting to slump here. They got that unbelievable road trip. Everyone getting so excited about New York Islanders hockey again. And now they come back home and they're 1-3 on this homestand entering this game. Losses to St. Louis, Boston, and Philly. They lose the Philly game in a shootout 4-3 on Friday. We'll see if they can bounce back here in this one. I'm not on Washington, but obviously, not exactly excited about betting against them again. They give them credit. I mean, Jacob Chychrun is almost a must bet on prop right now. With the point streak, he's on a goal streak as well. Anything and everything Jacob Chychrun. Like this is he's got a Bobby Orr type of streak going right now as far as shooting the puck, the point streak that he's on, which is at 10 games, the goal streak that he's on, which is at 5 games, and you can still get bargain bin worthy pricing, over plus 300. I'm seeing plus 375 still out there with Jacob Chychrun to score a goal right now. That might be the best bet in this game is just take Jacob Chychrun right now. Find the back of the net. Connor McMichael's probably a good prop, plus 425. He's scored in back-to-back games. He's been a lot more noticeable as well for the Washington Capitals of late. So a couple good props that I do like here in this matchup. As far as the goaltending is concerned here for this early start Sunday matinee affair, Logan Thompson, Ilya Sorokin going to be the goaltending matchup. Remember, big injury suffered by the Islanders earlier this week, 6 to 8 weeks minimum for Kyle Palmieri. Very unfortunate. And what an unbelievable display by him to try to, keep the puck alive in the zone when he's clearly hurting and injured severely. That tells you all you need to know about the heart and the guts of a hockey player right there. But unfortunate injury for Kyle Palmieri, so he's going to be out for a period of time. I don't have a lot here. These are 2 goalies in good form. We've talked about Sorokin. He has been obviously excellent for an extended period of time. He's coming off a game where he gave up 3 goals to Boston, but, still not bad. And before that, this guy had been giving up 2 goals, shutout, 2 goals. Like he's been in a good form for a while. We'll see if that carries over here to this game. My only pregame bet is a small piece of the draw. I do think this game could have some overtime potential, but that's about it. Oh, and by the way, if you're wondering why I'm going to pump the brakes on overs, especially with some of these afternoon games, it's the stat Jonathan Davis threw at us yesterday. I couldn't believe it when I saw it. I knew Sundays had been a stronger under day so far this season. I had just off the top of my head, I knew it. Like I knew there were more unders than overs for Sunday NHL games, but I had no idea that the numbers were so, massive for unders for afternoon and apparently any game before 8 p.m. Eastern time on a Sunday. Jonathan noted to us that unders are 21-5-1. 21-5-1 unders in the NHL Sunday for any game starting before 8 p.m. Eastern time. So no overs for me, at least in the afternoon. Actually, there's one game. I had to bet the over based on the way the matchup is and the way things are going. But other than that, we're treading lightly at the moment with these Sunday, especially these Sunday afternoon games, as far as treading lightly as far as overs are concerned. Alex, what do you think here? Capitals, Islanders.
Yeah, I don't have a single over on today's card, even in the night game. So, so 2 night games, I should say. But with this spot, I did take goal in first 5 minutes at plus 166. Kind of hoping that the Owls can get that goal, and then maybe I can go and grab Caps at plus money. Like I said, I'm tired of fading the Caps too. It's either back them or stay off of a side. But I think this could be a spot to where this goes back and forth. I do have a piece of the draw as well, but that's my 2 main approaches. Try and maybe look for Isles to get that first goal, and then look to grab Caps at a plus price money line. Did grab draw plus 340. I have Dylan Strome for the game winner in overtime at 65-1. And I got a little creative with Chychrun and Ovechkin. Of course, Ovechkin broke the record here. He scored the last 2 times he's been on Long Island. I went with a parlay of Ovechkin to score a goal and Chychrun to get a point plus 251 at FanDuel.
Pretty good. I like it. All right, next up, we've got Anaheim, Chicago. Another Coach Quenneville Invitational right here. Anaheim minus 130, a road favorite. Total here sitting at 6.5, shaded to the over here in this game. Chicago, and we can call it what it is right now with Chicago. It's a full-blown slump, and there's no question about that. They've had tough breaks, tough calls go against them, but they've had that one bad period in every game pretty much during this losing streak, and it can't happen. You start to get into a habit of not playing great for 60 minutes in a game, you're going to be asking for more trouble. And that's what we've seen from Chicago here in recent games. We'll see if they can bounce back here in this matchup. We know they won't have to deal with Lukas Dostal, who's out for at least a couple weeks with an upper body injury. So you're either going to get Peter Mrazek, and I would think you would get Peter Mrazek here, former Blackhawk, a chance to go up against his old team, or, of course, Ville Husso, who's been called up. He's the guy that got the start Friday in their win against the Los Angeles Kings. But it'll be interesting to see how this one plays out. I don't hate the first period over, but Terry Ray Vegas, that's a good stat there. But like I said, I'm off with exception of one game on this slate, which I said, you know what, even with the heavy under trend on Sundays, I have to bet this over. Makes sense to, but this isn't one of them. For me, this is an in-game type of bet for me. We'll see. We'll see if Chicago can start strong. Chicago has been starting games all right. That hasn't been the issue. The second period has been the issue. I'm almost tempted because of just how bad the second periods have been for Chicago to take a pregame bet on Anaheim second period in some form. I really am, because that's just been the disaster period, especially during this losing streak for the Chicago Blackhawks. But nothing for me pregame. This will be a watch and in-game situation for me. With Ducks and Blackhawks. Alex, what do you think here, Anaheim, Chicago?
Yeah, it's been a tale of 2 periods for the Hawks in the majority of these contests. Good first period, terrible second period. So we're going to bet that accordingly. I'm going with Blackhawks first period money line, minus $1.02. And then I have Ducks second period team to score first goal at even money. I also have 2 bargain bins, one from each side. My Anaheim bargain bin is also related to the second period.
All right, there you go. 2 bargain bins, both from this Anaheim-Chicago game. Very intriguing game. It is, no doubt. I'll have this. I'll make room for this on my bank of monitors, if you will, while the NFL is going on. To be honest with you, if you're into NFL, you know this already. These early games stink for the most part. These are some real bad early games today in the NFL. What are you going to get all wrapped up in Jacksonville and Tennessee? You're going to get all excited for Arizona, who stink, and a banged-up Tampa team. What are you going to latch your teeth into? And the New Orleans, Miami, that's a god-awful, that's an abomination of a football game right there. New Orleans, Miami, that's a horrific.
Hoping Carolina.
Atlanta Jets, you're excited about Atlanta Jets? Poor Kenny Albert, they stuck him on Atlanta Jets. Have fun, Kenny. Probably rather be doing a hockey game than that nonsense. But, oh, well. What can
Carolina Rams, hoping Carolina can beat the Rams. That would be nice to see.
Yeah, no doubt. Like I said, and that's why I was asking John Massey in the chat. I was just pontificating. Kenny Albert's doing this Ranger Lightning game today. He's usually off on weekends because Fox sends him to do an NFL game, but they sent him to the Jets game, which is in New York. So that's why he was able to do the Ranger game yesterday. So, like I said, poor Kenny. Kenny had to do that game, and he had to do the Spain game last week or a couple weeks ago, Washington, Miami, which was a terrible game too. So all of a sudden, he's the guy that gets the bad games, unfortunately. I don't argue with Leo Carlsson. He is playing great right now for the Anaheim Ducks. No question about that. So if you're interested in props involving Leo, I don't argue with that one bit. Kookie, Lemmy Lacombe. Jackson Lacombe's been pretty solid lately. When you look at the Blackhawks, we've talked about it now for a duration here with Bertuzzi's been good. Burakovsky's back on the top line with Green and Bedard. I have a feeling Burakovsky might score here today. He was kind of outspoken after the Nashville game. I saw one of his quotes saying it's almost like we didn't care too much about this game, or did kind of took Nashville for granted because it was Nashville. He said something along those lines after that loss Friday night. So he seemed a little miffed, a little perturbed, a little pissed off. So maybe that leads to an Andre Burakovsky sighting here this afternoon, maybe potting a goal. We'll see. All right, next up, we've got Calgary and Carolina. Carolina minus 240 home favorites, 6 being the total here in this game. I should say I've moved on this yet, but this is the game I was speaking of as far as an over, this game here, Calgary and Carolina. Calgary's suddenly scoring and suddenly giving up goals as well. They've kind of, transformed here these last few games. But, yeah, their offense, give them credit. I mean, during this 4-1 run for the Flames, they've scored 3+ goals in all 4 of those victories. Other than the 5-1 game against Tampa Bay, this is a team that's been starting to put the puck in the net. They have been giving up goals, though, on this road trip, 8 allowed in the last 2 games. They're actually on a 6-1 run to the over suddenly, the Calgary Flames going into this game. So I know we've had a ton of unders here on Sundays, no question about that. But this is the one I'm making an exception here and still going with over the total. If Freddie Anderson's in net, I'm going to be very interested, maybe Calgary team total over, because Freddie Anderson's given up 3 goals or more in most of his recent starts, especially on home ice. And you can get that Calgary team total over 2.5 at plus money here in this game, which is very appealing to me if Freddie Anderson is confirmed in net, because he just hasn't been great here early in the season. There are some injuries. Stahl still day-to-day for the Carolina Hurricanes. Slavin's still out. For Calgary, it sounds like Wolf is going to get the start here, projected, although not confirmed yet. Now, he did not start against Florida. That was Devin Cooley who got the win there. So, again, there's been way more it's been closer with Cooley and Wolf than anyone could have envisioned this year for Calgary in net. But something tells me, Ryan Huska might give Wolf a shot here to rebound after a rough, game against Tampa Bay earlier on this road trip. Freddie Anderson's projected. But, yeah, like I said, I am interested in this over, Calgary team total over. Certainly, I expect to be involved with one or both of those, just waiting on the confirmation of netminders. And if it's Freddie Anderson, I'll probably give both of them a go. Alex, what do you think here, Calgary, Carolina?
Yeah, I didn't really have much of anything with this, but I'm there with you. If it is Anderson confirmed, I'm seeing that 2.5 at plus, even money plus $1.02 with the Calgary team total. That would be something I would add to my card, but that's pretty much about it.
No doubt. By the way, 2 of the last 3 meetings with these teams in Carolina have been overs, 6-3, 7-2 Carolina victories. We will see. But like I said, I could see there being goals here in this one. As far as props are concerned for this game, a couple that stand out for me on the Calgary side of the equation. If you look at this matchup, they've been starting to get, a little bit of depth contributions finally. Joel Farabee has scored in back-to-back games. That's good to see. They brought him here for offense, and he's starting to provide it. Morgan Frost scored last game for Calgary as well. I'm going to take a shot, too, with it's a guy that just got called up. He's a defenseman, but he's been jumping into the play. He's been active. Jan Kuznetsov scored, obviously, in the last game, and he's a crazy price, 16-1 for the Calgary Flames. But this guy's not scared to shoot the puck. This guy's not scared to get involved in the rush. So something to keep an eye on here for the Calgary Flames in this game. And then on the Carolina side of the equation, Seth Jarvis back-to-back games with a goal. I know the price isn't great, but certainly I would look in that direction. Someone that's had success against the Flames, and because he scored against them in the past multiple times, and he scored last game. It's an old friend of ours, and he's a guy I bet on a lot in the playoffs for Carolina, because he usually ups his offensive game in the playoffs for Carolina, and that's Jordan Martinook. So I think this could be a decent Jordan Martinook spot here this afternoon for the Carolina Hurricanes in this game. All right, and he's on the third line, it looks like, for the Canes going into this game. All right, our last game for this Sunday slate, we've got Ottawa taking on Dallas. The Stars minus 140 home favorites, 5.5, 6 the total here in this game. Dallas comeback win against Utah on Friday night. They got off to their typical, sluggish start. Although at home off a long road trip, successful road trip, you could kind of understand why it was a bit of a slow start there for the Dallas Stars in that game. We'll see if they have a better start here in this one. This is the game where I'm going to take a shot with Ottawa first goal of first period. It has been a recurring theme here for the Dallas Stars of letting the opposition get on the board first, especially on home ice. We've seen that quite a bit. Ottawa's coming off a frustrating loss to St. Louis by a score of 4-3. And I think there's a decent chance we could see them get on the board first. Remember, they lost in Los Angeles earlier on this road trip, 2-1, and they beat Vegas next game 4-3, and they scored the first goal of that game against Vegas, and it was in the first period as well, very early. So we'll see about this one. I'm not there for the full game with the Ottawa Senators, but I definitely like that first goal of first period bet. I think that's even a better option if you like Ottawa, that they will have a good chance to get on the board early. Dallas has had a propensity to give up the opening goal of the game at home, against I don't want to say weaker teams, because Ottawa's a solid hockey team, but when they're playing outside their division, when they're not playing those Western Conference heavyweights, that's sometimes when we can see Dallas just ease into games on home ice and fall behind early. And that's been something that's happened a lot with them. Then you live bet Dallas. I know Matt Robinson's been doing that, and you've been doing great with that, because often in these games, despite giving up the first goal, Dallas has been able to come back and win the game. As far as goaltenders for this game, I'm certainly expecting Allmark versus Ottinger, although it's not been confirmed on either side. Still no Lyubushkin and Harley for the Dallas Stars on the blue line, and Duchesne's still not quite ready to come back. And we have Ridley Gregg day-to-day for Ottawa, and, of course, Thomas Chabot on long-term IR for the Ottawa Senators. So really that's the only maybe a lean to the draw, too. I wouldn't be shocked if we see this game go to overtime. So maybe a small bet on the draw. But Ottawa first goal of first period, I do kind of like that. Probably will also tack on a little Ottawa first period money line, but I like the first goal first period best of all. Alex, what do you think here? Ottawa, Dallas.
Yeah, I only came up with a draw here. I got that at plus 340 this morning. That was really the only look. I felt like this could be a back and forth kind of a game. Like I said, don't like the overs, but this could be maybe a low and slow kind of a spot. And especially, like I said, Dallas is a team where we see them get on a nice little roll, and then all of a sudden, this seems like a spot where they should be able to just continue rolling, get 4 or 5 goals, and all of a sudden it's 2-2 in overtime or 2-2 going into a shootout. So I could definitely see that here. Draw for me plus 340.
All right. Draw for Alex. I'll probably have a small draw bet too, but like I said, Ottawa first period money line, and specifically, like I said, most of all, I like Ottawa first goal of first period at a nice plus price here in this one. As far as props for this Sens and Stars game, a couple that I'm interested in. A lot of people liking Jake Sanderson props, and he's certainly been active 2-game point streak. Jamie Benn on a 3-game point streak, Pinto on a 2-game point streak, Rope Hintz on a 4-game point streak, 4-game goal streak for Rope Hintz. So Hintz goal prop, Pinto 2 straight games with a goal. I don't mind that. David Perron, I think, is value. Now, he did score against St. Louis. I did like it also because of the former team angle, playing against his old team. But nevertheless, there's still value with Perron because they've got him with Travis Green as him with Stützle and Batherson right now on the top line. So there's still very good value with David Perron right now for the Ottawa Senators as far as a goal prop at the moment. And for the Dallas Stars, I mean, Jason Robertson, we shouldn't even need to mention him. He's been that red hot lately for the Stars with Hintz and Seguin, although Hintz is the one that's been on this mini little 4-game goal streak. So those are a couple of the props for me here on the Seattle side of the equation. And like I said, Perron, certainly the value's there, playing on the top line for the Ottawa Senators. All right, shout out to everyone in the chat at the like button. We appreciate it very much. Reminder, wizardsportspicks.com, the end of a busy sports weekend, but there's still lots coming up as we turn the calendar to December. We've got NHL every day, NBA college basketball every day. NFL continues last month of the regular season. College football conference championship week coming up. Bowl games and the playoff games after that. So still plenty of college football coming up. get on board. Check out the premium picks. 5-2 Saturday I had in all sports. So check it out, wizardsportspicks.com. Check out the Beyond the Lines video, too, I did for Sunday NFL. I do those videos Thursdays and Sundays. Make sure you check it out and get on board, wizardsportspicks.com. And check out patreon.com/iceguys. $10 per month. Goalie charts, totals charts, all the bonus content there as well. We're going to have another exclusive live betcast for Patreon members in December. We'll have the date for that announced later this week. And, of course, the daily betting card, sides, totals, player props posted each and every day on the Patreon page. Your subscription and membership goes a long way to supporting the show and keeping it going long term. So get on board, $10 per month, patreon.com/iceguys.
And also check out the Ice Guys store, iceguys.myspreadshop.com. You have until midnight tonight, Eastern Standard Time, to save with the Black Friday deal. That's 30% off of everything over orders $70 or more. So this is a good time to stock up, get things for yourself, get things for your friends and family, Christmas gifts. This is now the time to get it, and you can save 30% off orders $70 or more. That expires at midnight tonight. That's available at iceguys.myspreadshop.com.
All right, good stuff. Speaking of good stuff, that's a nice little that's not bad. That makes a ton of sense. Stars power play goal against the Senators. Number 1 power play versus 30th penalty kill. I mean, that's certainly a huge matchup advantage for Dallas with the special teams. So maybe something worth taking a look at. All right, bargain bin special of the night and best bets coming up right after we hear from our great Ice Guy sponsors.
Wizard Sports Picks, featuring the finest handicappers in the universe. Sharp insights, trusted picks, and relentless results. We strive to help you become consistent winners. This is Wizard Sports Picks.
Kings and Queens shop.
Thanks to all our sponsors, including Royal Cannabis. Check them out, royalcannabisshop.com, 20% off with promo code ICEGUYS. All right, bargain bin special of the night. I believe we're heading to the Windy City for Alex's bargain bin specials of the night.
That's right. West side of Chicago we go. We've got 2 bargain bin specials, one from each team. First, we start the home team, the Chicago Blackhawks. As you mentioned, Andre Burakovsky was very vocal at the end of that game against Nashville, saying we need to play better. You can't play down to a team like Trashville. He didn't say that part. I did. But give me Andre Burakovsky anytime goal plus 370 available at DraftKings. The best price available right now. That's bargain bin special number 1. Bargain bin special number 2 comes from the Anaheim Ducks. We talked about how the Hawks have struggled during the second period. So I'm starting to look at this market. You can get this at FanDuel, second period, anytime goal scorer. I'm taking a shot with Troy Terry of the Anaheim Ducks, plus 750 to get a goal anytime during the second period. So Andre Burakovsky, anytime goal during the game, plus 370. Troy Terry, second period goal, plus 750. Those are my 2 bargain bin specials for the Saturday or Sunday.
All right. Good stuff. I like that. I like the second period. Look, makes sense. You know, Chicago's had some real bad second periods, giving up more goals in the second period. So Troy Terry, second period goal scorer, plus 750, and Andre Burakovsky anytime, plus 375 for Alex with his 2 bargain bin specials. I got 2 as well. I'm going to ride the wave. This will probably be the day he doesn't score, but why not? Jacob Chychrun for the Washington Capitals. I mean, he's just shooting the puck from everywhere, and it's going in right now, plus 360 for Jacob Chychrun for one of my 2 bargain bin specials. The other, I should have used him as bargain bin special against St. Louis. He would have cashed for me. I still bet him, but I didn't use him as bargain bin special. I will today. David Perron, Ottawa Senators, plus 640. Great price on the top line. I think he's got a good chance to find the back of the net. So 2 bargain bin specials for me. Jacob Chikrin, Washington, plus 360. David Perron, Ottawa, plus 640 for my 2 bargain bin specials for this Sunday. All right, best bets. Alex, what do you like? A 3-0 sweep, by the way, for us with best bets yesterday. My 2 with the Jets and the over against the Predators. Alex's with the Sharks team total over 2.5. See if we can do it again here, run it back on Sunday. Alex, what do you like for best bet?
We get a little creative. We're going to go with the Perlo special in Chicago, Anaheim. So that would be Blackhawks to score a goal in the first period, and then Anaheim to score a goal in the second period. You can combine those at FanDuel for a parlay at even money, plus 100. So we go with Hawks to score in the first period, Ducks to score in the second period as a parlay. That's my best bet for Sunday.
Good stuff. Very innovative there. Like it with the first period, second period combo for Alex in the Anaheim-Chicago game with best bet. My best bet, excuse me, for this Sunday slate. It's not a slate where I've got it done, as you can tell. So I will just by default, let me just see here. Yeah, we'll go over 6 minus 110 Calgary, Carolina. That's, like I said, it's been a heavy under day on Sundays, but Calgary's scoring goals, giving up goals, 6-1 run to the over for Calgary. If it's Freddie Anderson, I surmise it will be him. He has not been great lately for Carolina. And meanwhile, Carolina is usually good to score goals on home ice, as they showed on Friday when they put 5 on the board against the Winnipeg Jets. So Calgary, Carolina, over 6, minus 110 for my best bet for this one. Yeah, Betano Sportsbook, Jonathan, has this plus 640 on David Perron. So, yeah, you got to shop around for it. But like I said, most books have 550. But, thanks to BetStamp, I wouldn't have known that without BetStamp. So that app is great for price comparison for sure. So there you have it. That's a wrap for this Sunday slate. Shout out to everyone in the chat. Hit the like button. We appreciate it very much. And again, tomorrow's show will be a little bit earlier. Won't be right at 2 p.m. Eastern, but I think we'll be ready to go live at 2:30 p.m. Eastern time tomorrow for the Monday show. Getting closer to getting it back to the regular start time again with college football winding down. A reminder, the Ice Guys is live 7 days a week. If you can't watch the show live, download the Ice Guys podcast in audio form on all major podcast platforms, Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, iHeartRadio, Amazon Music, and more. Download the Ice Guys podcast when you can't watch the show live. For Alex B. Smith, I'm Ian Cameron. Have a great Sunday. Enjoy the games and good luck. And we will be back with you tomorrow on Monday, approximately 2:30 p.m. Eastern for another edition of the Ice Guys.